Hello again, and now we're going to talk about best practices for managing an online discussion. Following in this video are a few suggestions to help us attain the three legs of that stool: consistency, objectivity, and integrity. There are certainly other good ideas and other Indiana Wesleyan resources for this, and in fact, Indiana Wesleyan maintains a private Facebook page for our online instructors, which is a great resource for building relationships with other instructors and sharing tips and best practices. If you have a Facebook account, we encourage you to search our page and join it. You can also receive help and assistance from your key adjunct if you've been assigned to one of those key adjunct teams. If you're not familiar with what that means, then ask one of your supervisors if you're on a key team, and if not, how to get on a key team. Overall, our goal and objective at Indiana Wesleyan is to help you become consistent and to provide quality instruction throughout our entire faculty team and have you become one of our best members. So best practice number 1. Engage early and engage often. Now what this means is that it's important that you start off on a good strong foot. Each workshop and each course should be started at the best possible manner. Certainly the most important part of managing effective discussions is to be actively engaged in them throughout the workshop. The current minimum expectations document, which was revised in 2015, states the instructor should never be absent from the course for more than 3 days in any given week, and the instructor should be attentive to workshop issues and attempt to resolve any underlying problems if they arise. Point number 2 is that the instructor is to be active in discussion workshops every week, responding to at least 25% of students per workshop. Those minimum posts need to be substantive in nature. That means the posts by the instructor need to be substantive. Characteristics of a substantive post include a 100-word minimum, integration of theory, research, and/or professional experience, providing examples and/or substantiating evidence from the text or supporting the text, perhaps some use of in-text citations and references in APA format as appropriate, and modeling proper spelling, grammar, and scholarly tone. Now those are the minimum expectations for a faculty, but we should remember that this no more than 3 days absent level of activity is not likely to produce effective online discussions. After all, our students have to be active more than that, so we probably need to as well. We do know that there are typically no posts to respond to in the first day or two of a workshop, so your engagement will be more heavily oriented and slanted towards the last days of the workshop. And it may require daily presence from those last several days in a row to meet your engagement requirement, as well as provide the best feedback to the students. Now there are some other additional hints in terms of how to overcome this challenge of being active, and that is to develop something called pre-post questions and comments, and also discussed later on in the Developing a Pattern series of this training, which shows how you can be present on more days, which shows your students that you're continuously active, just as if they were attending class every other day. If we want to provide the best online experience, and really the best education overall, then we need to be attentive and provide that experience as instructors. If we want to provide the best experience, we're going to give them the highest level of learning, and that's the highest level of learning that they're expecting and that they deserve for the tuition that they're paying. Now, the responding to 25% of students requirement will also not result in the greatest learning if we only work to that minimum. The students who are not engaged during a workshop may feel cheated and unimportant, because if they're not engaged, they may feel that they're not being paid attention to and that you're not really in it for their good. And those others who receive a lot of engagement, perhaps because their posts are not as attentive or not as thorough or not as complete, may feel singled out and picked on. A much better goal is to engage with every student in every workshop at some level. This tells every student that he or she is important and that you are paying attention to him or her. The optimum is to engage with every student in every discussion forum, but that's not always necessary or practical, since many courses have 2 or 3 workshops or 2 or 3 discussions per workshop. A more realistic goal and approach is to engage with every student in every workshop in one of the discussion forums. I'll share a tip, which I'll later talk about as well, which is how to keep a cheat sheet of each workshop that has every assignment and all the student names across the top. I simply check off each student's name in each workshop so that I know by the end of the workshop that I've interacted with that particular student during that workshop. Now the next video is going to have some specific actual posts from students and some responses and questions that can be used to increase engagement and enhance learnings. But the first best practices tip is to engage early and engage often.